I'm clutching a half-eaten cupcake, standing in the kitchen of a house I paid for, listening to my wife tell her drunk best friend that our daughter isn't mine. That's the first domino. My name's Dean Coulter. I'm 43, an IT consultant in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Not exactly a city where secrets stay hidden for long, especially when the secret involves a dead ex, stolen genetics, and your wife's lies unraveling in the middle of your daughter's first birthday party. Mara, my wife, planned the whole thing without me. It's a private gathering, she said with a smirk, like a parent-teacher conference I didn't need to attend. But when I got wind that her ex's sister had RSVP'd, I knew something was off. I showed up anyway, uninvited, just in time to hear Mara's best friend, Bryn, ask, "So, when are you telling Dean the truth?" Mara, swirling wine like it's apple juice, laughs. Why? He thinks Zoe's his. Dave Seed was frozen before his accident, and the clinic was discreet. Dean never asked questions. He's just safe. That's when the world stopped spinning. Dave, her ex, the man she always compared me to. He died in a motorcycle crash 2 years before Zoe was born. I remember Mara's grief, how she slept in his old shirt for weeks. I thought I was helping her heal. Turns out, I was just helping her raise his kid. I watched her cradle Zoe during the party, smiling like she hadn't just confessed to tricking me into fatherhood. Later that night, when the house was dark and Zoe was asleep, I left a note on Mara's pillow next to our daughter's birth certificate. I crossed out my name and wrote, "You won't need this anymore." Then I vanished. But I didn't stay gone, because I'm not the man you trick and leave behind. I'm the man who takes everything back. Slowly, legally, publicly. First stop, my lawyer, Alan Pierce. Paternity fraud, I said, tossing him the recording. His eyes didn't even blink. You'll need evidence. DNA, clinic records, and patience. While Alan built our case, I watched Mara's lies spread faster than wildfire. She told everyone I had a breakdown, that I abandoned her and Zoe over a fertility disagreement. The word abuse even slipped into a few whispers. But the worst betrayal wasn't from Mara. It was from my mother. She took Mara's side, called my leaving selfish, said Zoe needed stability, even if it was built on lies. She and Mara started going to lunch, together, like besties. And then there was Carter. Carter Vance, Mara's gym friend turned business consultant. Always around, always watching me like I was the outsider. Nate, my best friend, called it first. You really think your mom just happened to start yoga the same month Carter did? Then came the surveillance photos. Nate's wife, Tanya, spotted them. Mara, my mother, and Carter at lunch, cozy like a damn sitcom family. I confronted Carter at his gym. Holistic, or it was called, all glass walls and fake humility. He played dumb. We're just friends, Dean, until I showed him the photos. You're more than friends, I said, and I've got enough here to ruin your brand. He turned red. You're crazy. No, I said, you stole my family. I'm just taking back the truth. But Mara wasn't done either. A week later, I was walking out of a cafe when Mara, behind the wheel of our SUV, accelerated toward me. I dove between 2 parked cars. She missed barely, but the smile on her face, that's what chilled me. She got arrested. Attempted vehicular homicide. Released on bail the same day. Judith, her mother, posted it without blinking. Then came the restraining order. She accused me of threatening her. Carter backed her story. So did Bryn. Even my mother, in a signed affidavit. They said I had anger issues, that I was a danger to Zoe. They flipped the script. But I had a wild card, Natalie Vance, Carter's ex-wife. She reached out with a folder thicker than a Bible. He's been stealing from his gym. And Mara? She's laundering it through her firm. Emails, bank statements, offshore transfers. They were running a full-blown laundering operation, using her PR clients as cover. It was genius and stupid. I handed it all to the FBI. Agent Ruiz took one look and said, she's done. But I wasn't finished. I went to her office, Morrison and Holt PR, waited until she came out of a meeting. In front of her boss, clients, and staff, I played the recording. Her voice, laughing about deceiving me, about Zoe not being mine, about Dave Seed. Her boss went pale. Clients walked out. Receptionist cried. I smiled. Then I ruined Carter. His gym hosted its annual expo, a big show with vendors and press. I hijacked the projector, played photos of him and Mara kissing, and then showed spreadsheets of the fraud. "Here's your moral fitness guru," I announced, stealing from clients and laundering money with a married woman. Chaos. Carter's business collapsed overnight. Mara's firm put her on unpaid leave. Their GoFundMe was shut down for fraud. And still, she came for custody. In court, she wore black, looked angelic, claimed I was unstable, that I left her and Zoe with no explanation, that she feared for her life. Then Agent Ruiz walked in with federal charges. Money laundering, fraud, attempted homicide. The judge looked at her like she was dirt under his shoe. "You tried to erase a man who raised your daughter with love and sacrifice," he said. "You failed." He awarded me full custody. Mara? Supervised visitation once a month. Maybe, pending the outcome of her trial. Carter pled guilty. Got 3 years. Mara got 5. My mother? Her will hadn't been updated. I inherited everything. 6 months later, Zoe and I moved into a new house in Easton. Clean slate. No lies. Just bedtime stories and stuffed animals. Sometimes she asks about Mara. I tell her the truth, as best I can. Mommy made some choices she regrets. But you still have me. And that's enough. For now. Because revenge isn't just about fire and fury. Sometimes, the coldest justice is watching your enemies fall apart under the weight of their own lies, while you hold the hand of the little girl they tried to use to destroy you. 6 weeks after the court ruling, I think the worst is behind me. But that's when the letters start arriving. Anonymous notes, slipped under my door, left in my mailbox with no return address. Some typed, some handwritten. "You think this is over? A father by fraud is still no father. Zoe will know who her real dad is." At first, I think it's Mara. Maybe even Carter bitter behind bars. But the tone, it's different. Colder. Personal in a way Mara never was. There's no pleading, no emotion. Just precision. Like someone keeping score. Nate insists it's nothing. Probably some internet troll. "Your story's viral, Dean." People get weird about that. But the letters start showing up at Zoe's daycare. That's when I go full lockdown. Security cameras. Alarms. I even teach Zoe a safe word. Marigold, I tell her. If someone tries to pick you up and doesn't know this word, scream. Scream loud, baby girl. But the damage is already done. Zoe starts wetting the bed. She draws pictures of people crying. When I ask what's wrong, she whispers, "The lady with red nails told me you're not my daddy." Red nails. Only one person comes to mind. Bryn, Mara's best friend, the one who whispered the secret at the party. The one who testified that I had rage issues. The one who hasn't been seen since Mara's sentencing. Deep. Turns out Bryn's real name is Kimberly Brightman. She has a sealed juvenile record, 2 bankruptcies, and a revoked nursing license in Florida for emotional boundary violations with a patient. I show all of this to Alan, my lawyer. "She's unstable," he agrees. But what's the connection? I keep digging. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I find it. A photo on an old MySpace archive. Mara, Carter, and Bryn in a hospital room, standing next to a frail-looking man in a hospital gown. His name was Douglas Carr, Carter's former business partner, the one who mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago after signing over his shares of Holistic Core. The one Bryn was reportedly counseling through his cancer treatment before he vanished. And just like that, everything clicks. Bryn isn't just crazy. She's loyal, obsessively loyal, the kind of woman who ruins her own life just to protect a lie. She loved Carter, and now she blames me for his downfall. I go to Detective Lyle. He listens, takes notes, then leans back in his chair. "This woman's dangerous. If she's stalking your daughter, we need more than letters. We need her caught in the act." So I set a trap. I stage a post on Facebook. A lie. I say I've decided to let Zoe visit Mara in prison for the first time. "It's time," I write, attaching a photo of Zoe holding a stuffed lion. She deserves closure. The post goes viral. Within 48 hours, the daycare reports a break-in attempt. A woman with gloves, red nails, a duffel bag. She tried to unlock the emergency exit before the custodian chased her off. We review the security footage. It's Bryn. Clear as day. The FBI picks her up at a bus station 2 towns over. She has tickets to Buffalo. A forged notarized letter claiming temporary guardianship of Zoe. A burner phone with photos of my house, my schedule, and daycare routes. She folds under pressure. She confesses not just to stalking Zoe, but to laundering another $40,000 through Mara's firm, just before the raid. Now it's federal for her, too. But here's the kicker. As she's being cuffed, she blurts out something that freezes the blood in my veins. She wasn't supposed to go to prison. Mara was supposed to win. That baby is her legacy, Dave's legacy. You destroyed that. Even in her madness, it's clear Bryn didn't just act alone. Mara orchestrated the entire strategy, even from behind bars. And that's when I realize 5 years may not be the end. Mara still has people on the outside, people willing to do her dirty work. And if she ever gets out, she won't stop. After Bryn's arrest, I think the nightmare might finally be over. But paranoia doesn't fade that easily. I start triple-checking locks, leaving a light on in Zoe's room. I sleep with my phone in my hand, half expecting another letter or a knock on the door. But the worst part? Zoe stops calling me daddy. Not because she doesn't want to, but because she's confused. They said I had another daddy before you, she whispers one night as I tuck her in. Her eyes are wide, scared, trying to make sense of a world filled with half-truths and whispers. I hold her close. I've always been your daddy. That doesn't change just because someone lies. But something has changed. Not just in her, but in me. This war isn't just about Mara anymore. It's about protecting the only pure thing I've got left. So I go hunting again. Only this time, I don't dig through court records or surveillance footage. I dig through people. I start contacting Mara's old co-workers, former clients, clients of her PR firm who quietly pulled their contracts in the months before her arrest. One name keeps popping up, Sheldon Breck, an investment banker from Philly. Slick, untouchable, but always hovering on the edge of scandal. Mara did crisis management for his firm after a whistleblower exposed a pyramid scheme involving shell companies and fake real estate portfolios. That scandal vanished, buried. And Mara? She suddenly had a new car, new jewelry, and an investment property in upstate New York. One I never saw. I reach out to the county registrar. That cabin? It was in my name. She bought it using my credit. Used Zoe's birth certificate to file as a single-parent investor and got government grants, tax credits, and low-interest business loans. All based on fraud. All traceable to me. It was a ticking time bomb under my financial life. I bring it to Alan. She was setting me up. I say, if she ever needed to disappear, she'd leave the debt in my name and the assets in hers. Alan flips through the documents. It's identity theft, Gwyde Froth, and if we can tie Sheldon Breck into it, this might be RICO territory. He makes some calls. 3 days later, Sheldon's firm is under federal audit. Turns out Mara wasn't just laundering money for Carter. She was brokering entire schemes, helping men like Sheldon bury shady money into fake real estate trusts using family-owned LLCs. Family like me. I was the fall guy from day one. And Sheldon? He's not happy about being exposed. One night, I find my front tires slashed. My trash can set on fire. Zoe's swing cut clean in half. Not subtle. Then I get a text message from a number with no name. You keep digging, she won't be the only one who disappears. It's not from Mara. It's from someone protecting Mara. I send a message to Lyle. He tells me to lay low. Let us handle this, he says. But I've learned one thing the hard way. No one protects you like you protect yourself. So I buy a body cam. I change my locks. And I drive to that upstate cabin, the one Mara bought behind my back. Inside, I find what I feared and more. A safe. Inside the safe, a folder labeled contingency. Inside that folder, photocopies of Zoe's DNA results, a fake paternity suit filed against me, and signed but ready photos of me from a private investigator, tailing me at bars, late-night drives, even one with me hugging Tanya, Nate's wife, completely innocent, but easily twisted. She was building a narrative, planning to frame me as a drunk, cheating, unfit father. Just in case she ever needed Zoe back. Just in case prison didn't stick. Just in case someone came looking. There was also a burner phone. And on that phone, dozens of voicemails. To Bryn, to Sheldon, to someone named Amelia, a new player. A voice on the last message, shaky and rushed. Amelia, if anything happens, go to the safe house. You know where. Keep Zoe's documents safe. We could still win this. Dean's weak. He breaks when he's alone. I freeze. She still has someone out there. Someone who thinks this isn't over. And if Mara's already planned this much from behind bars, then she's not finished. She's just getting started. The name, Amelia, becomes my new obsession. I don't sleep much after hearing Mara's voicemail. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering how deep her plan goes. How many people she planted in my life. How many lies I still haven't uncovered. I ask Nate if he's ever heard of her. Amelia, he frowns. The only Amelia I remember is the nanny. I blink. What nanny? He shifts uncomfortably. You don't remember? After Zoe was born, Mara almost hired a live-in nanny named Amelia Rhodes. Said she knew her from a temp agency. I rack my brain. Nothing. She never worked here. No, Nate says slowly. She disappeared before the interview. Something about a family emergency. But the way he says it, like it's just now clicking, sets off alarms. I search every document, email, and invoice Mara ever sent me from those first 6 months after Zoe's birth. And there she is. Amelia Rhodes. A background check form half filled, a scanned driver's license attached. The same woman from the voicemail. Brown hair, sharp cheekbones, hazel eyes. But the address listed? It doesn't exist. I hand everything over to Agent Ruiz at the FBI. She scans the ID. Fake. Good fake. But not good enough. Then she pulls up a surveillance photo. Amelia meeting with Sheldon Breck at a hotel bar. 3 weeks ago. She's more than a nanny, Ruiz says. She's a runner. A cleaner. Breck's used her before to wipe out digital trails and move money. I feel my stomach drop. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about escape. Mara doesn't want to win custody. She wants to steal Zoe. Disappear. Rewrite the story again, but this time without me in it at all. Ruiz sets a 24-hour watch on my house. Zoe's daycare goes in a lockdown protocol. I teach Zoe to never open the door unless I say the password myself. Not even for police. But I know that's not enough. Because Mara always moves through people. She breaks you down by flipping the ones closest to you. And the next betrayal? It's harder than any before. Tanya, Nate's wife. I find out by accident. She forgets to log out of her email on Nate's shared laptop. The subject line reads, Amelia, transfer confirmed. I scroll. Inside is a thread going back months. Tanya helped Amelia move money. Small transfers. Under $10,000 each. Through a business account Tanya opened for child wellness consulting. That consulting firm? Just a shell. Created weeks before Mara's arrest. Tanya was the inside link. She gave Amelia Zoe's daycare hours. My work schedule. Photos of the house after I upgraded security. When I confront Nate, he goes pale. You knew. I whisper. You had to have known. He shakes his head. I swear to God, Dean. I didn't. She said it was for a friend. A custody case she was helping with. A friend. I slam the laptop shut. Your wife has been helping a convicted felon kidnap my daughter. He starts crying. Real tears. I want to believe him. But I believe enough people. That night, I leave Zoe with Patty, my sister, the only person I still trust. Then I drive straight to Tanya's. I park outside, engine running, staring at the porch light like it holds the answers. She comes outside, startled. She's in pajamas. She clutches her robe like it's armor. You need to leave, Dean, she says. This isn't safe for either of us. No, I say. It's finally honest. I toss a USB stick at her feet. Every bank statement. Every file you sent. I made copies. Gave one to the FBI. So here's your choice. Either help me stop Mara, or you go down with her. She stares at the USB. She said you'd do this. She said I'd what? She said you'd twist everything. That you'd make her look like a monster just because she wanted her daughter back. I take a step forward. She tried to kill me with a car. She forged documents. Laundered money. Lied in court. She also loved her child, Tanya snaps. We stare at each other. Two people who once shared dinners, baby showers, 4th of July barbecues. Now enemies on opposite sides of a war neither of us chose, but both are losing. She doesn't speak again, just turns and walks back inside. I get in my car and drive away. But my phone buzzes before I hit the highway. It's from Ruiz. She's moving. We just intercepted Amelia crossing into Vermont. She had a duplicate passport, kid's name on the manifest. But the child wasn't with her. She's prepping for extraction. My blood runs cold, because I know what that means. The clock has started. Mara's final play is in motion. And if I don't stop it in time, I'll lose Zoe forever. I don't sleep that night. I just sit in the dark, staring at a wall that used to hold Zoe's finger paintings, gripping my phone like it's a weapon. The message from Agent Ruiz replays in my head. She's prepping for extraction, which means one thing. They already tried and failed, but they will try again. I call Patty at sunrise. Take Zoe somewhere. Somewhere public. Somewhere loud. Don't tell anyone where. And don't let her out of your sight. She doesn't ask questions. She's the last person in my life who doesn't need an explanation anymore. By the time I arrive at the FBI's downtown office, Agent Ruiz already has Amelia in an interrogation room. She's smug, clean, no prints on anything, no money in her name. But what she doesn't know, I've been playing a long game too, because the night I confronted Tanya, I followed her when she left her house at 2 a.m., drove 5 miles behind her until she pulled into an empty lot near the rail yard. She met Amelia there, handed her a duffel bag. I recorded the entire thing, in high definition, with sound. Amelia, this is the last of it. Dean will never see that kid again. Tanya, what about Ruiz? She's watching him like a hawk. Amelia, doesn't matter. Vermont was a test run. Plan B's already set. That video now sits on Agent Ruiz's desk. And when she presses play, Amelia's expression cracks. The first chip in her armor. But gets worse for her, because Ruiz has already frozen the account under Tanya's consulting firm. They traced deposits linked to Mara's old firm. And a new one, Gravemont Solutions, formed by Sheldon Breck's assistant. It's all connected. A perfect loop of fraud, laundering, and lies. Until now. That afternoon, Amelia is charged with conspiracy to commit kidnapping, financial fraud, and obstruction of justice. Tanya's arrested at her Pilates studio. Nate calls me sobbing. They took her away in cuffs, Dean. I don't respond, because I'm at the prison, face to face with Mara. She sits behind thick glass, wearing orange like its designer. Her smile is still perfect. You finally came to visit. I lean in slow. This isn't a visit. It's a warning. She tilts her head. And what am I being warned about, dear? I slide a folder across the glass partition. She opens it. Inside are photos. Amelia being led away. Tanya in handcuffs. Sheldon Breck's face on the news as federal charges are announced. His office raided. But the last page? That's the one that breaks her. It's a copy of her will, updated during her relationship with Carter, naming him sole beneficiary of her insurance and retirement accounts. But she didn't change it after he died. And she sure as hell didn't change it before committing massive fraud using my name. Now that Mara's convicted on federal charges, the state froze all her assets. And because she used my credit, my identity, and my accounts, everything goes to me. Everything. Her car, her investment properties, her retirement account, even her designer jewelry, all purchased on shared credit. I'm taking all back, I say quietly. You can't, she whispers. I already did. She starts shaking. Rage? Regret? Doesn't matter. I lean in closer. You played me. Used me. Lied to me. But you forgot one thing. I never stopped watching. And while you were busy pulling strings from your cell, I unraveled every one of them. By the time you get out, you'll have nothing left but memories. You'll never keep her from me, she says, voice trembling now. Zoe. I smile. She doesn't even ask about you anymore. A pause. Long empty. Then, get out, she whispers. I don't. I just sit there and let her feel it. The humiliation. The collapse. The total, public, irreversible fall. Outside the prison, the sun is warm. For the first time in months, it doesn't feel like a lie. Zoe runs to me in the park. Patty lets go of her hand, and she throws herself into my arms like the last few months never happened. Daddy, I missed you. I miss you more, princess. And as we walk back toward our car, hand in hand, she tugs my sleeve. Are the bad people gone? I look at her, at the bright eyes that aren't mine, but belong to me more than anyone else ever could. Yes, I say, they're gone. For good. Mara Grayson receives a 15-year sentence with no chance of early parole. Amelia takes a deal. 8 years. Tanya gets 5, and Nate files for divorce. Sheldon Breck's firm collapses. He disappears. Rumors say he fled to Brazil. The FBI keeps digging. Carter dies in prison under suspicious circumstances. No one cries. And me? I win full legal custody of Zoe. We move to a quieter town in western Pennsylvania. New names. New start. Her drawings go back up on our new walls. And every night, I tuck her in with her favorite stuffed lion and say, "You're safe now. I got you." Because no matter how she came into my life, she's my daughter, and I'll destroy anyone who tries to take her away.